Our first story brings us to the humid tropical forests of South Africa, towards the middle of the Permian Period, roughly 260 million years ago. During this time, the environment was wet and humid, providing lush green forest, allowing many herbivorous animals to strive and evolve. But one of the Permian Period's biggest predators is also on the rise. Patrolling their territory looking for food is the apex predator known as Dinosaurs. Measuring around 20 feet long and weighing around 1,000 pounds, this large animal wouldn't have feared anything. After a quick rest, the female begins scouring her territory once again. She has lived on these lands since she was a small cub, knowing the ins and outs of her terrain very well. But it's not long before she suddenly picks up on the scent of a mysterious animal. Piquing her curiosity, she decides she must investigate. She quickly finds a recently killed herbivore along her riverbed. However, she is not the culprit. It appears something else is taking her food supply. Now fueled with anger, the female Dinosaurs begins hunting whomever crosses her path, as she stays near the remains of the carcass, while keeping her senses alert. As night falls, she picks up on a scent nearby. When suddenly she hears a familiar predator lurking, she runs back to the remains to discover the culprit whom has come back for his kill. But if he wants the scraps, he will have to fight in order to take them back, as he is greeted by our apex, who is unwilling to surrender her territory. The female Dinosaurs proves to be too strong for the young male, as he is left with no choice but to retreat back to the forgotten lands wounded and frail. As for the female, she protects her territory once again with the cost of minor cuts and bruises, and lives to conquer another day, in the harsh, unforgiving world of the ancient Permian Period. Our next journey begins in the warm, shallow waters of the Panthalassic Ocean. This large body of water made up most of the Pacific Ocean of today, but 259 million years ago, this massive seaway covered what is now modern-day Greenland. Around this time, the Earth's oceans rose and fell, creating different types of aquatic environments. The warm seas allowed enormous number of strange and bizarre animals to strive and evolve, making the path of existence possible for us today. The Permian Period was home to some of the most bizarre creatures ever discovered. Combing the ancient seafloor is a shark-like animal known as Sarcoprion, meaning flesh sore. Paleontologists estimate this animal at 20 feet in length, making it slightly bigger than our modern-day great white sharks, but believed to share the speed and deadly hunting techniques of present-day mako sharks. Sarcoprion was armed with a whorl of teeth that were embedded in the lower jaw. Using the compact tooth whorl during hunting, Sarcoprion preferred a large variety of prey, diving at them with high speeds and sawing vulnerable areas. Any creatures that were wedged between its rostrum and its teeth would have been thrashed violently to inflict maximum damage, while the lower teeth would begin cutting through in a saw-like manner to open and kill any prey that may have been hiding inside shells. At the end of the Permian period, the mass extinction event known as the Great Dying is thought to have been brought about by shifting tectonic plates, thus creating high volcanic activity spreading all across the planet, wiping out nearly 80% of all land animals. However, the disaster was particularly harder on marine life, erasing nearly 96% of all organisms in our oceans. This would eventually lead to Sarcoprian's extinction approximately 251 million years ago. This extinction event formed the boundary between the end of the Paleozoic and the beginning of the Mesozoic era. Here in the deep, dark waters of the Triassic oceans, the sea levels have begun to rise. Following the Permian-Triassic extinction event, life recovered slowly. In the Middle Triassic, many groups of organisms reached higher diversity again, such as the marine reptiles known as ichthyosaurs. One of the largest genus of ichthyosaur from this time period was known as Shastasaurus, also known as the Mount Shasta lizard. This enormous beast lived on Earth about 210 million years ago and could grow to be 75 feet long. While dinosaurs roamed the land, this beautiful marine reptile ruled our oceans. Tonight, the large pod of Shastasaurus will take advantage of the dark, murky waters and begin scouring the open ocean for food. They remain undetected while using the darkness to strike and eat the large school of fish. Despite their massive size, it is theorized Shastasaurus was a suction feeder much like our modern-day whales, most likely preferring soft-bodied prey like squids and small fish. This massive animal is considered to be the largest prehistoric marine reptile that has ever lived on our planet. No animal other than our modern-day blue whale has matched or surpassed the immense size of this early ichthyosaur. Remains of this majestic creature have been found in the western United States, Canada, and parts of Asia, making Shastasaurus one of Earth's most dominant group of sea dwellers, ruling our oceans for nearly 50 million years. Around 195 million years ago, the Ghost Ranch region was part of the supercontinent Pangaea. Located close to the equator, the area had a warm and wet, monsoon-like climate with heavy seasonal rainfall. This allowed many primitive reptiles and amphibians to thrive on these ancient lands. Beginning in the late 1800s, small collections of fossils were discovered here at Ghost Ranch, revealing the abundance of information hidden underground. Paleontologists were especially interested in the slender bones belonging to early dinosaurs known as coelophysis, as they considered these small reptiles a blueprint for the extraordinary variety of dinosaurs that would soon be evolving. Here at the ranch, located in New Mexico, it is believed due to lack of water, many different packs of coelophysis found themselves drinking from a small stream, when suddenly the environment must have changed drastically, making one of the most significant fossil sites ever discovered. While distracted by their surroundings, death swept in with a disastrous flash flood, washing away thousands of coelophysis, thus creating one of the most miraculous fossil sites in the world, as they were quickly buried under layers of sand and mud, practically freezing their fossils in time. This occurrence may have attracted the marine reptiles who reside in the deeper parts of the river near the end of the canyon's entrance, as they may have taken advantage of the washed-up dinosaurs. Today, the Ghost Ranch region is still prone to flash floods, showing just how the coelophysis could have been surprised, swept up, and drowned in an event like this over 190 million years ago. Scattered across the dry, barren desert are one of the most commonly found sauropods of North America. Weighing over 20 tons, extending 20 meters long, and standing the height of a two-story building is a lesser-known long-necked dinosaur named Camarasaurus. This large herd of sauropods find themselves wandering aimlessly and off course through treacherous lands. With a relentless storm on their backs for days now, many of the Camarasaurus become malnourished and fatigued. The weather has created a wretched death trap for any dinosaurs that may pass through. With no food or water in sight, many of these large sauropods who are not fit for the journey begin falling to the grinding environment. After days of steady bombardment, the sandstorm begins to dissipate, revealing the deadly aftermath of what prehistoric nature has to offer, leaving deceased dinosaurs spread out for miles, while the last of the surviving animals have no choice but to continue on their dangerous voyage, in hopes of finding salvation. Emerging from beyond the storm are a pack of apex predators, equipped with a keen sense of smell, allowing them to pinpoint the remains of the rotting Camarasaurus. These top predators are known as Allosaurus, one of the most commonly found theropod dinosaurs of the Jurassic. As the most abundant large predator in the Morrison Formation, Allosaurus was at the top of the food chain, most likely preying on contemporaneous large herbivorous dinosaurs and perhaps even other predators of their time. Some paleontologists interpret Allosaurus as having had cooperative social behavior and hunting in packs, while other scientists believe it was a solitary predator, explaining that groups of Allosaurus fossils are together only because of aggressive behavior, or that individuals were scavenging off the same kill. But one fossil site discovered in Wyoming revealed another interesting theory. Jumbled together were multiple Camarasaurus remains found with multiple Allosaurus lacerations, along with numerous teeth left behind from the predators, ranging from adults to juveniles, suggesting Allosaurus may have traveled in small packs or even prides, much like our modern-day lions. They would have come back to these feeding grounds regularly. Knowing it was an easy source of food, they would bring their hatchlings, explaining the multiple aged teeth found at these feeding sites. After the long and harsh dry season, spring begins across the Jurassic of North America. Plants begin to bloom, turning the deserts lush green once again. They attract many different animals from near and far. Finding themselves in a foreign land is a herd of armored herbivores known as Stegosaurus. These dinosaurs enter the valley with vigilance, as they lead a new generation of stegosaurs alongside them. These hatchlings, only being a couple months old, rely entirely on their parents for survival, and will remain that way for some time. Watching from afar is one of ancient North America's most fearsome predators, equipped with a large nasal horn and a keen sense of smell. He is known as Ceratosaurus. This medium-built theropod has been trailing the scent of the stegosaurs for days, and with his elite-smelling ability has finally caught up to the herd and begins planning his attack. However, the Stegosaurus have already spotted the carnivore and have made an impenetrable safety net around their younglings in hopes of deterring the ravenous Ceratosaurus. The hungry carnivore stares down the herd of stegosaurs, contemplating his next move carefully, as he knows just how dangerous these spiked herbivores can be. The most recognizable feature of Stegosaurus would be their incredible backplates, followed by their deadly tail, which is equipped with 4 spikes known as thagomizers. Even one full-grown stegosaur would have no issue competing with the carnivore, let alone a whole herd. Thinking twice, the Ceratosaurus retreats back into the forest, disappointed but not willing to give up. As night falls, a youngling lets his curiosity get the better of him. As he begins to exit the comfort and safety of the group, he leaves himself vulnerable. The Ceratosaurus has been waiting patiently around the herd for this exact moment. He will not let this opportunity slip away and begins to advance slowly upon the unaware Stegosaurus. But out of the corner of his eye, the hatchling spots the threat and begins running back to the group, initiating a chase. Unable to stay ahead of his attacker, The young Stegosaurus becomes tired, eventually stopping, allowing the Ceratosaurus to deliver one swift, powerful bite to the neck, finishing the poor infant quickly. Capturing his prey just in time, as only a few more steps would have spelled safety for the young Stegosaurus. Now all the group can do is watch from the distance in defeat, as the Ceratosaurus claims the reward of persistence in the merciless world of the Jurassic. This is Central North America, roughly 115 million years ago. Here, a vast herd of one of the most commonly found dinosaurs, known as iguanodontians, enjoy the lush vegetation near the bottom of the canyon. This specific species of iguanodontian is known as Tenontosaurus. Over the years, there have been over 60 specimens of these dinosaurs recovered, firmly suggesting these animals may have been a common sight during the early Cretaceous period. Joining the herd is a massive sauropod known as Astrodon. The two dinosaurs act as a team, as the Tenontosaurus give Astrodon comfort inside their large numbers, allowing the sauropod to wander carelessly. Capable of spotting danger for miles, the Astrodon uses his long neck to oversee the valley, serving as a lookout, giving the Tenontosaurus a sense of relief as they sprawl about, enjoying their favorite desert snack. As the sun begins to set, a pack of small but deadly predators prepare to stalk the herd of Tenontosaurus. Weighing around 175 pounds and standing 5 feet tall, this raptor is known as Deinonychus. The pack remain on the perimeter of the mountains, cloaking themselves into the hills and vegetation as they inch closer for their attack. These birds were built with speed, remarkable athletic ability, and a 5-inch claw on the second toe of each hind limb. Deinonychus evolved to be a killer. Paleontologists believe this raptor used these deadly talons to pin small prey to the ground like rodents and lizards, while being able to slash and grab onto large prey such as Tenontosaurus. The pack quickly ambush an unsuspecting Tenontosaurus. They time their attack together in order to bring down the large herbivore, who is triple their size. The raptors would use their athleticism to spring toward their target while latching onto its body, and begin to take their sickle-like claw and tear through the dinosaur's flesh with ease, causing massive blood loss and excruciating pain. After a long, hard struggle, the large herbivore finally succumbs to its attackers. Many preserved fossils of raptors have been found alongside Tenontosaurus. For example, located in Montana inside the Yale Quarry, paleontologists discovered 5 of these raptors, along with their teeth scattered near Tenontosaurus remains, suggesting these animals may have been pack hunters, while others believed they were scavengers. Nonetheless, Deinonychus is still one of the deadliest predators to walk our prehistoric badlands, roughly 115 million years ago. Located in the deep, dark jungles of ancient South America, we find a mating pair of iguanodonts from the late Cretaceous period. These dinosaurs are known as talon-cowan. Here this couple rest near their nest, as they are unaware of the danger nearby. Lurking around the couple's nest is one of South America's largest predators of the late Cretaceous. Measuring up to 30 feet long and 10 feet tall, while weighing an estimated 2 tons. This large animal sends vibrations through the earth, triggering the pair of talon-cowan to awake. They frantically rise, spotting the nearby threat quickly, and for a brief moment, both predator and prey lock eyes, knowing what's at stake. Hunting them is a large theropod known as Carnotaurus. The pair of talon-cowan flee their nest swiftly, in hopes the carnivore will leave their eggs and instead pursue them further into the forest. Here inside the forest, the talon-cowan have the upper hand, as they are able to use their small bodies to maneuver through rocks and logs, making it difficult for the large predator to keep up. Eventually, the talon-cowan slip away, briefly slowing down the Carnotaurus's pursuit. The pair suddenly find themselves in an open field, exposed to the elements, when suddenly they hear danger nearby. Tired and with nowhere to run, the talon-cowan lie in the grass, camouflaging themselves, hoping to go unnoticed, acting just in time as the predator enters the perimeter of the field. Carnotaurus has tracked the pair's footsteps through the forest and knows the talon-cowan are nearby, now making it a game of cat and mouse. The Carnotaurus loses track of the pair's footsteps through the meadow. While the talon-cowan escape only by inches, they soon realize they are safe, quickly making a break back to their nest. Before returning, the couple swiftly replenish their thirst at the river, which may turn out to be a costly mistake, as the Carnotaurus has found the elusive pair once again. This time, the raging predator has the element of surprise. Carnotaurus is thought to be one of the fastest theropods we know of, estimated to top out at speeds of 35 miles per hour, making them one of the few predators who could catch these nimble herbivores. In the forest, the talon-cowan may have had the upper hand. However, here along the riverbanks, the talon-cowan make the grave mistake of running into the shallow water, slowing them down greatly. As Carnotaurus is able to run much faster through the stream, he quickly catches the mother, bringing an end to her life, thus leaving the male without his lifelong partner. He lies with his mate one last time before he says goodbye and heads back to the nest, in one of many of our tales from our past.